Can seashells be used as guitar picks? We're going to find out. So last October, my family and I took a trip to Cape May, New Jersey, and when we were there the first night, we decided to check out the beach, see what kind of seashells there were, and my dad found one that was kind of like this. I don't know how well you could see it from there, but kind of looks like a guitar pick, and he jokingly said, "Could you use this with your guitars?" And I thought, since I already use bone picks with my bass, shells should work. I've seen people use stone and other kinds of materials for their guitars, so this should work. And for the rest of the vacation, I just kept looking for these kind of shells to the point where I had way more than I probably need, but I figured if I'm going to try this, I should have as many as I could possibly get. And it got to the point where this one lady came up to me and she was like, "We've been watching you from the balcony for like 3 minutes looking for these shells. Like, why are you looking for them here?" And I told her what I was doing. And she's like, "Oh, I have a nephew that plays guitar and he might want to try this." And hopefully it worked out for him because I hadn't tried this yet whenever I told her about what I was doing. So hopefully that worked. But anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to organize all the shells into 3 categories. We're going to go for the really thick ones. That's going to be for bass. Acoustic guitar is going to be medium thickness. And the really thin ones is going to be reserved for electric guitar. I feel like acoustic guitar strings will be able to hold up a little bit better than the electric ones. So hopefully I'm kind of right on this and I don't have to go buy all new strings for all my instruments. So let's get these organized and hope for the best. Now that I have the shells roughly organized and realize there isn't as many as I thought there were, I'm going to try out the bass picks first, just because I think those have a higher potential of actually working, not breaking, not damaging the strings too bad, and it's just the easiest to set up. So let's go get this set up. The first pick that I'm really interested in trying is one that's kind of more curved. I don't know if you could see right here. I have to look off to the side because I have the camera facing a certain way, but like right there. Just has like a slight curve. So just kind of want to see how this one goes. So far, the only thing I worry about is this hitting right here. I don't have any pick guards, so the damage to the instrument itself kind of worries me. I really need to dust this thing. Anyway, that's the only thing I worry about. That, and also the fact that there's this kind of, like, I don't know what you'd even call it, dirt, grime, something from the ocean, and I worry about that kind of unraveling the strings. Right there kind of look like it started to. But other than that, it's not that bad. And if we turn it the other way and kind of have it like almost upside down. So the curve pick, it actually isn't that bad. Let's try a different one here, more flatter edge. So that was a really thick shell. This one isn't really all that thick. I probably could have put it with the acoustic guitar picks, but either way. No. So one of the things that I just found out is when you have a pick, I don't know if you can see that it kind of bumps up right at the tip there. It grips the string a little bit, and it really pulls in a way that I don't like. So that's the only complaint I have. But if we just down pick everything, and instead of having it with the rough side down hitting the strings, and we flip it over, I would probably reserve this more for the lower strings. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this one. I don't like the fact that this grips a little too much. But it's usable in a pinch. I just wouldn't use it. Now this is more of a flatter pick. Doesn't really have that much of a rough side, especially right there. And it's a lot flatter than this one that worked before. So we'll see if this one even works. It works, but I think if I was to use this a lot more, I would probably shave the rough side of this and hope that it doesn't catch the string. The only problem I'm noticing so far is that it leaves like dust on the strings, but it doesn't look like it's really damaging them. Could be worse. Could be a lot worse. For the acoustic guitar, it's going to be the medium thickness shells. They're semi-rough on the bottom, but nowhere near like the bass ones were. So hopefully that'll help us. But anyway, traditional kind of guitar pick shape. It's going to be the first one we try out. Let's see if it works. Okay, I already don't like it because it has the curve, or it has the bump at the very end. I would not use the rough side for this. Just like the bass, I would say just down pick everything. And if you have to go up on that, just like very lightly across. But I would say for the most part, smooth side down. So I'm not really liking shells with acoustic guitar because you can really hear it scrape. But let's try a smoother one. And this one's kind of cool. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it to you, but this one kind of has like two parts to it almost. Like it just kind of has, I think it's called a plectone kind of look to it. I don't know. But first we're going to try just one like smooth edge, one smooth point to it. And let's see if it is any better. Smooth side down. I would say maybe if you use a thinner kind of pick, you could use it as like a layer for acoustic guitar, but I don't know. Let's see how the plectone went. Let's not have it be an octave so it doesn't really sound like a 12 string. So I noticed one thing about the shell is that this one, the smooth end comes out more than the rough end. And if I was to go this way, it really grips it because it has that like hook to it. But if I go the rough end, it scrapes a little more. So you kind of got to pick your poison as far as that goes. But if you do octaves, fifths on the high strings and you just kind of lightly drag it across, it probably sounds a little bit better than actually it doesn't make that much difference. So I'd say the rough side, again, don't use it. Use the smooth side. and watch for the hooks, especially on acoustic guitar strings. You want those to stay clean. You want those to stay just as bright as, or as clear as you possibly can. Like before, just use the smooth side. Don't use the rough side because it's really going to leave some residue on here. And now let's try one more. This is kind of a thicker shell, but we're going to see if that's any better. So I noticed for this, I'm already kind of turning it sideways. I'm not really hitting with the smooth, the smooth or the rough side. I'm just kind of like holding it almost like that and just... And you can really hear a drag when it comes to acoustic guitar strings. I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. I wouldn't say it's a good thing. I'd say it's probably just, if you want it to kind of drag a little more, you want to hear some pick scrape when you hit any note, I would say use the shells for acoustic guitar then. But other than that, I would say just stick to an actual guitar pick. But I found at least I found a new cool thing that I can do with acoustic guitars with shells. And now we go on to electric guitars and see if there's any difference there. So after the last bit of setup, finally ready to record the electric guitar. I got some really small, thin kind of picks here. Tried to keep them as flat as possible. No curves, no nothing. We've learned our lesson with that. And yeah, all right, let's try this. The first one we're going to do is this weird kind of like longer one. I don't know if you can see how weird shaped this thing is, but it looks like it's going to work. Smooth side down. Try and down pick as much as possible just because I don't want to hit the rough side. Not too bad. For the fun of it, let's try the rough side. The one thing I'd say use the rough side for is very light strumming, just right over top the string. Nothing too heavy, nothing too hard, but just light touches. Let's try the thinner strings here. So it's not bad. It gives it a lot of attack, which I absolutely love. So let's try one that's kind of similar to it, but even smoother, and I think even flatter. We'll see how that goes. So I will say that the thicker it is, the more attack you're going to get. At least that's what I'm hearing. I could be wrong, but yeah. Yeah, still don't like using the rough side. I don't know why I keep doing that. Now for a really, really thin one. I mean, this thing is thin. I mean, it is just... It's probably going to break before the strings would. So let's try it. I hate jazz picks. Can I do a pinch harmonic? See how many attempts it takes. I'm not a shred kind of player, and this is not my wheelhouse. Okay, yep, we're not doing that because I just left really, really big residue marks on the strings doing that. The only thing I would say whenever using seashells with an electric guitar, I never thought I'd start a sentence off with that. But whatever. The one thing I will say is don't turn it sideways. Always keep it very horizontal, very parallel with the strings. That way you're not leaving all that shell dust on there, but just something like... I would say it works. I don't like it, but maybe with like bigger shells like this one, it's a little bit easier. Yeah. Not a fan. I would say use this more for just like an extra layer on your guitars. I wouldn't suggest using this all the time, but like if you need just another track of just... just something to fatten it up. Something with a little more attack, something with a little more bite and scratch to it. I'd say these would work, but I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled like I was with bass. Acoustic guitar was a lot better than electric, but it's still... it works, but it just has its place. So hopefully you found the video at least entertaining, if not informational. And if you liked the video, leave a like. Maybe drop a comment if you have any ideas as to what I could use as a pick next. If you think your friends will enjoy this kind of stupidity, go ahead and share it. And if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. And before I ruin this take, I'm going to say, we're good here. Later.